Uh, Hola, everybody. Hello and welcome. Welcome to another session with me, your witch, bitch, professional, whatever, y'all. Professional witch, professional reader, all the things. Michael Blackthorn, the Deviant Witch, here with another 5 card reading for a special someone. For Jeanette. Jeanette. I kind of want to say Jeanette because I like the way it feels when I say it, like the sound of it. You know what I mean? I know. I'm okay. Okay. So I've had some coffee, I've had some energy drinks, all right, because I need a boost. I need a boost, y'all. Whew. All right. But yeah, so hey Jeanette. I should have asked you how you want your name pronounced, but I didn't. So fuck me, damn. And yes, I can be a professional witch, professional reader, and still swear. That's my style, so recognize. Um, and hey, witch friends watching this, listening to this, here we go. Before I get into the cards, though, I really want to express something very clearly. And again, from time to time, depending on my schedule, depending on me, um, I am going to share general readings that I do inside a group that I'm a part of as an act of service. Complimentary sessions. But the point of it is that I'm offering the work that I do without charging, as an act of service, as an act of devotion to my ancestors, to my spirits, to my gods, right? To share this with people, and because of that, I think it's useful to show this process publicly. So that's kind of like, it is an act of service. I am doing it without charging, so as a complimentary session. um but tips are always welcome. Tips are always welcome for sure. But I do this as well, so you can hear me fumble, you can hear the way I communicate. You can pick up, like, this is how I blend cards, this is what I talk about, this is me. And so this might say, you know what, I like this bitch. This bitch is for me. Or like, no, I can do without the swearing. I don't like that. Not for me. I'm fine with either or. I'm fine with all of it. I just want you to have a real picture of how I communicate and all of that stuff, right? And I'm not going to be using last names here. These are general sessions, not the kind of sort of private deep dive sessions that you would book with me one on one. Private bookings are more intimate, more specific, or even general too. We can do general readings that are more private oriented, um, and much more tailored to your energy, right? And your specific needs. Okay, but like publicly, I'm not going to be laying out your business in the sense of letting people know all this stuff, right? I just can't. Just don't do it. Just don't want to. It's not their business. So first name basis. And this kind of gives you insight again into how I read, how I speak, how I connect the dots, and whether my style is a fit for you. So again, take what you like from it. I don't like to tell people to like take what resonates and leave what doesn't, because a lot of times we leave the uncomfortable. So if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But like, take the reading in its entirety, right? And remember, my friends, the cards don't take your power away; they hand it back to you. So if you feel like a session is taking away something from you, taking your power away, it's not for you. But like, the way that I read, um the way that I read is very important to me. I do my best to make sure that my client is taken care of. I do my best to be very real, so I'm very respectful of what we're talking about. I also do my best to be respectful to me. So I do swear. That's the way I communicate. I am not going to be this prim and proper individual, because I'm not a prim and proper individual. I do my best to be respectful. I do my best to articulate the information that is coming forth. I do my best to provide you everything I can to be clear. And yeah, I say fuck. So if that's bothersome, check out. And don't hire me, because I do. Like that's just a natural way of communication for me. Um but I am 100% all in. I give you the best of myself. I want you to have a good experience, no matter if we're talking about something extremely serious and overwhelming, or something light and goal oriented. Whatever it is, I give you the best of me always. So so we are doing a 5 card spread, which I'm not going to share the pictures. I give the picture to the person I'm reading for. Like I will give you the picture later on, in the comment to where you commented, right? So you'll have that as well as a link to this recording. But I'm not going to give people pictures of the session. But we're doing a 5 card spread, and I love these. I say they're quick. I love them because they can be. Like you noticed last night, I posted a reading I did with my oracle cards, and that was like a quick 20-minute read. But it was to the point. It expressed what it needed to express. Today we're working with the Rider Waite Smith Tarot. It might be a little longer just because I'm rambly. I feel rambly today, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I do like a 5 card spread because they can be quick, and they give us a clear arc, right? They have a starting point, a midpoint, and an end point. So enough story to be meaningful, but not so many cards that we start spiraling into sort of like tarot soup. So now, um, mm, now before we get into sorry, I'm trying to collect my thoughts. I'm like, did I cover that? I covered that. I covered that. So before we get into the session, I I do want to express that there is a sort of like emotional whiplash vibe to the reading today. Um, a sense of happiness or nostalgia is showing up for us. And then this reading is sort of like, as I'm laying the cards out, this reading slams into sort of like heavier terrain as well. And this is absolutely something that pops up when sort of grief is sitting under the floorboards, right? So sometimes you can be smiling and functioning and even remember sweet things, and then the next moment your nervous system hits the bruise. So if you've been feeling like, why am I fine 1 second and wrecked the next? That's not you being dramatic, honey. That's not you being dramatic. That's sort of like grief being honest, right? So that's kind of what's popping up. Like I feel like we're dealing with something that is a little heavy on the mind, heavy on the heart. I feel like it really has to do with nostalgia. Like I'm trying to hold on to the good thoughts, but I really want to say, Jeanette, that it's really important for you to, there's a lot of emotion going on right now. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of heaviness. There's a lot of like mind fuckery. Like what that's what it feels like. It's mind fuckery, and it's really fucking annoying, to be honest. I'm getting it, like I psychically picking up on all of this stuff that's coming up, and it's like, oh no, honey, it's really important that you ground yourself right now. So there's a lot of things, like even me as your reader right now, this is me, but you did ask for it. So, but like I'm also another sort of mental noise for you. But you did ask, and so I will provide that. But it feels like there's a lot of people who have opinions about your life. I feel like there's a lot of people who want to say, well, you know what, you should do this, you should stay here, you should not stay here, you should do this, you should do that. Does that make sense? And so that's kind of where it's getting a little overwhelming for me because people don't know your story. Does that make sense? And so it's really bothersome to me that all of these people come out of the woodwork to have opinions about your life. I don't like that. I get protective over that because it's people don't know the story that you live. People don't know your full experiences, right? They know what you tell them, they know what they see, they know from their lived experience what they can formulate, but they are not you, right? And so it feels very heavy, the sort of situation that we are dealing with in this general reading. um and I'm going to tell you, like, we're working with 5 cards. So the first card is the Hermit, second card is the High Priestess, the third, our core card, is the Six of Cups, the fourth card is the Ace of Pentacles, and the fifth card is the Five of Cups reversed. Sorry, I need to move my fan. I'm getting like, whew, there's a lot of energy here, and it's like making me hot. Um, because when I read, that's another thing. When I read, I'm open to all. I'm open to all the information as it pops up. As it pops up, as it flows. It flows through me, so it gets channeled through my body, and so sometimes that gets like very warm, and I have to take a step back. So I'm gonna walk you through these, like we're sitting at the table together, honey, because we are. Hello, welcome. Have some tea, have some coffee, have a sugar-free energy drink, whatever it is you want. I got it, because it's virtual. have a little have a little cookie because it's virtual. Don't put on the carbs, it's all good. So with that being said, my friend, we start with the Hermit. And I don't know. This is a very interesting card. So Hermit uh, is your first card, and it tells me something quite blunt. You're in a season at this moment of internal retreat, right? Whether you asked for it or not, that's kind of where we're at. The Hermit is Virgo energy, meticulous, analytical, let me understand what the hell is happening type of energy. But Virgo isn't just spreadsheets and routines, it's sacred discernment. And I feel like that's kind of where you're at, which might be overwhelming you. It's like, oh, fuck, I have to really be discerning right now. And what I'm seeing, like what I know to be true, what I know to be true, what I see to be true, and and also the reality of what I'm capable of within my life right now, right? All of these things are important to be mindful of. So it's the part of you that says, if I'm going to survive this, I really need truth, not noise. Okay. And if we're talking numbers, we're in 9. So 9 is close to completion. 9 heralds change, right? Not the sort of happy and they lived happily ever after kind of energy. 9 is the I'm nearing the edge of a cycle and I'm not the same person I was at the beginning kind of energy. Does that make sense, Jeanette? So okay, and I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong. It really is bothering me that I didn't ask you how to pronounce, like how to say it, like because it could be Jeanette, or I could be mispronouncing it completely. So recognize that it's like annoying me that I don't know if I'm saying it right, and it's not. It really does. I mean, it matters to me because I should know how to say your name. And I know it's not that big. What's more important is the message, but just let it be known that it's bothering me. So I apologize. The Hermit says, You're integrating, you're processing, you're in a state of separation. So you're separating what's real from what's performative. Okay. And you might be pulling back from people because you don't have the patience for small talk when your spirit is doing surgery. And I want to say this with love, but also with being assertive and firmness. Solitude is not the same thing as isolation. The hermit is healthy when it's intentional. It becomes a shadow when it turns into, I have to carry this alone. I also I also feel like this very well could show up in someone like keeping you from like your friends, or someone keeping you from from experiencing life, right? So that needs to be put out there as well. Um so I'm going to plant a question here, okay? Where are you retreating to hear yourself? And where are you retreating because you don't want anyone to witness how much this actually hurts? All right, let me take a sip of water. I need a ground. I'm getting I'm getting lightheaded. So give me a moment. But like the hermit is, it's really important that you focus on your own story. It's really important that you focus on what you're capable of within your own means. It's really important right now that you start making a plan for yourself and doing what you're able to do. I think that you understand what this means, so we're not going to delve deeper into that. Um, but the hermit is saying you have information, utilize it to your advantage, be be very discerning on who you share that information with, and create a sort of a go plan. I don't want to call it an escape plan, but create a plan of action, a course of action that you can utilize, that when you're ready to take action, when you're ready to go, you have everything in place to go. Okay? Does that make sense? Then we get into the card that follows this, which is the High Priestess. And with the High Priestess, we move from the Hermit into the High Priestess, and I love that pairing because it's basically the cards, the gods saying, "Stop asking the outside world to explain your inner world. You know what's going on." The High Priestess sits between opposites, light and shadow, known and unknown. She's ruled by the moon, which means this reading is immediately connected to your subconscious, your dreams, your intuition, and also that deep emotional undercurrent you can't always articulate well. So, Jeanette, here's what I think is happening. There's something you already know, but you're trying to logic your way around it. And the High Priestess is not here for that. She's not loud. She's not dramatic. She doesn't chase you. She waits and she watches until you stop lying to yourself. In a practical sense, the High Priestess can show up when you're receiving signs, synchronicities, and dreams. You're getting those sudden gut level hits of truth, right? And you keep trying to explain them away because you'd rather be reasonable than correct. This card says, trust the part of you that doesn't need proof to know. And if this isn't grief related, the High Priestess also speaks to the veil. The feeling that the person is gone, but not gone. The sense of presence, right? The memories that arrive like messages. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I am here to tell you what the card is doing. It's pointing to spiritual processing, not just emotional processing. And so I feel like with the Hermit and the High Priestess together, they're working together to discern. They're working together to come up with a plan of action, but realize like you have the information, you have the data, because the High Priestess is not a stupid bitch. She's a well-informed bitch. And so like recognize you know what you're doing. You know what you're capable of. You know that it's time to make decisions that are going to to help you move forward. And so like when you're ready, you can take action. So know that you have time. Know that this is important, and know that only you can discern for yourself what is appropriate in your situation and what is not. Okay? Everyone can have an opinion, but they are not you. They are not living your experience. So don't let them rule. Don't let them rule your life. I am so like there's a lot of energy going on right now. There's a lot of energy going on within your reading, and it's a lot. So just take some time to focus on what you need to be doing. Let me get a little more water. And so with the Six of Cups as our core card, this is kind of where this is where I feel like I have to be careful, because this is where it turns tender, but also I think this is where we fall into a trap. The Six of Cups can be good when it's good, but it can also be, how do I put this? I'm not saying this is you. I'm not going to claim this over you, okay? But I'm going to provide it because it can get abusive at times, like because the Six of Cups can show up when we're in nostalgia. We want to remember the good times with people, but it's also like we also have to see the abuse that we're put through, whether it's emotional abuse, spiritual abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse. That's really up to us and our story, right? You don't have to tell me, you don't have to share that with me, but there's something here where we're dealing with something, and it is up to us to navigate it. And I'm not judging you. Like what you choose, I am not judging you. And again, who the fuck cares? Do not care about me, my opinion, my thought, all right, or anyone else. This is your life, this is your story. You have to do what is right for you always, okay? Understand that. So the Six of Cups is nostalgia, memory, emotional imprinting. It's the card of the past still lives in me. And astrologically, it's often tied to the sun in Scorpio, which is a specific mix. The warmth of the sun inside the depths of Scorpio, meaning love and loss braided together. So there's trauma here, right? So if you've been remembering old times, old versions of yourself, childhood, or before things changed, that makes sense. But I also want to point out something important. The Six of Cups is not just sweet memories, it's also the emotional cost of remembering. Okay? The emotional cost of remembering. Let me hold on. Try to move back and get comfy and ground myself a little and not knock the microphone over. So it's also the emotional cost of remembering. Sometimes memories are sacred medicine for us, and sometimes they're a blade. Okay. So this card is asking, it asks, what are you holding on to that is nourishing you? Okay. What are you holding on to that is nourishing you? And what are you holding on to that is keeping you stuck? Sit with that for a second. What are you holding on to that is nourishing you? And what are you holding on to that is keeping you stuck? Because six is harmony, yes, but it can also be complacency. Does that make sense? It can also be complacency. It's easy to live inside what was because what is feels raw. And if there was a loss here, this card is saying the love was real, the bond mattered, and you're not crazy for still feeling it. So I really think there's an importance here. Just because love was real and this relationship, this experience matters, you're not crazy for still feeling that energy. But you also have to be very discerning. We go back to the Hermit and the High Priestess. You also are in a space, I feel like you're in a place of discernment where you're processing this information and you're trying to do what is right for you now. So it is okay to still feel love. It is okay to still feel these things, these emotions, because they're real and there have been good experiences and good times. But just because there are good experiences and good times, it doesn't mean that it is okay for harshness and for harm and manipulation to take over and to rule, right? So you don't have to put up with it. Does that make sense? And so when you're ready to choose differently and when you're capable of choosing differently, that's when you get to do that. So come up with a plan. So then we get into the Ace of Pentacles. And this is where we sort of shift. Here comes the shift, right? Because the Ace of Pentacles is earth. It's tangible. It's let me move this microphone a little, sorry. It's the body. It's money, health, stability, the physical world. And the ace is the seed, the beginning, the offering. So after all this inner processing, intuition, memory, nostalgia, the tarot drops a coin in your palm and says, "Now, Jeanette, build something that holds you. Build something that is yours." So this card can be a new routine that stabilizes your nervous system, a new financial opportunity, a new job path, a new health focus, a new home-based sort of anchor, or simply a new way of caring for yourself that isn't just emotional, but physical, but practical, you know? So I'm going to say this plainly. Grief can make people float away from their own life. Ace of Pentacles is a tether, and it says, eat, sleep, hydrate, pay attention to your body, touch the earth, do the small things that keep you here. Because you can be spiritual and still need structure. Structure is important. You can be heartbroken and still need breakfast. Hell yeah. What are we having for breakfast? Pancakes? Yeah. I've been like on a pancake kick. Oh my God. I'm craving that now. um, but yeah, you can be heartbroken, but still need breakfast. You still need to be nurtured and nourished. This is the card of I am going to survive this, not by forcing myself to be okay, but by creating stability around the wound. Does that make sense? Let me know. Let me know. Sorry, I'm trying to move my chair up a little. And card 5, the 5 of Cups reversed. So this is the last card, and that's the 5 of Cups reversed. And this is where I exhale for you. Because upright, 5 of Cups is grief, disappointment, fixation on what was lost, but reversed, this is the beginning of emotional release. Not I'm over it, more like I'm not drowning every minute anymore. It's a perspective shift. If it's the moment where your heart starts to realize there is still something left, There's still hope. There's still something worth holding, right? There is still a life here, even if it's different than the one you thought you'd have. And I want to be careful with this because this card doesn't insult grief. It doesn't rush you. It doesn't tell you to just move on. It doesn't tell you to be there and hurry up. It tells you the truth. Healing begins when you stop punishing yourself for being human. The 5 reverse is self forgiveness. It's letting yourself laugh without guilt. It's allowing joy to exist beside sorrow without feeling like you're betraying anyone. So if you've had even tiny moments where you felt a little lighter and then immediately felt bad about it, this card is for that. It's saying you don't have to earn relief through suffering. You're allowed to heal. Also, like the 5 of cups reverse is forward movement, moving forward. It's moving on. What I find fascinating, because if we look at the entire, you'll see the cards when I show them to you, but if you look at the first card, the hermit is moving towards the left, kind of exiting the spread, like going back to the past and, like, flagging that up. There's history here, like, there's baggage here. And then the 5 of cups reverse is like, you know what, emotional shit, we got to process this, but I have to move on. I can't mourn this anymore. Like, I'm tired of mourning this relationship, this experience, this situation. I have to move on. I'm moving forward. And so it's like I'm doing what I can. And I feel like the Ace of Pentacles is like there's this new opportunity, this new money maybe coming in that's gonna help you like get up and off your feet and do the things that you need to do. So I do feel like there's a blessing happening. And it's saying, look, you are supported in making decisions moving forward. Don't fall back into old patterns. Don't fall back into old traps. Right? You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to want more for yourself. You are allowed to claim more for yourself. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So here's the arc. The Hermit says you're processing privately, integrating, needing quiet. The High Priestess says trust your intuition and the message is beneath the surface. 6 of Cups says the past is present, love is present, memory is loud right now, nostalgia is important, but don't get caught up in it. Ace of Pentacles says it's time to build stability in the physical world so you can carry the emotional world. 5 of Cups reverse says the healing is already starting, slowly, honestly, imperfectly, a little messy, but it's the beginning. It's beginning to work, right? It's beginning to initiate. So here's what I'd recommend based on this spread. Give the hermit a container. Set a specific time for solitude and reflection, and a specific time where you rejoin the world. Otherwise, solitude turns into a cave with no exit. Track the High Priestess. Write down dreams and signs, repeating symbols, those gut hits, not to obsess, but to validate your inner knowing. And honor the 6 of Cups without living inside it. So important. Do one intentional memory ritual, a photo, a candle, a letter, a playlist, something. Give the memories a throne for a moment so they stop haunting the hallway. Give yourself some time to honor what was or what could have been. Give yourself time to process that. Don't stay there. Ace of Pentacles, pick one anchor, one practical anchor this week, a routine, a budget step, a health appointment, a walk, something grounded, small but real. And the 5 of Cups reverse, practice aloud. Okay, practice aloud when something good happens or when you feel relief. Practice saying, I'm allowed this. I'm allowed this. I allow myself to have this. And that's it. That's the spell. That's the magic. So Jeanette, I'm sending you much love, much appreciation, steadiness, right? I'm sending you steadiness, not the fake kind, but the real kind. The kind that lets grief exist without it owning the whole house. And for everyone listening, If you want a reading that's more specific and intimate, private sessions are where that happens, okay? These general readings are meant to show you the process and help you decide if I'm your reader. You can always reach out. You can go to gloamandpestle.com, you know, um, for I think I don't know if I have my readings up yet, but if I don't, I will have them up there soon. It's a work in progress, but you can message me on Facebook, you can message me on Blue Sky, and we can set that up. Yeah, I'm all over the place, so you can find me somewhere. But I hope that you can take something from this. I hope you can utilize it. The most important is to Jeanette, and thank you for letting me read for you. Thank you for allowing me to share this with you. And again, if you need clarity on anything, you're most welcome to message me. If you guys want to see what I do daily, monthly, weekly, you can find me on patreon.com/Michael Blackthorn. And I do daily transits and divination sessions to help you sort of like get the most out of your day. I do weekly sessions, I do monthly sessions. We break everything down. I'm always here to be of service, I'm always here to help. So always feel free to reach out and connect with me. I'm happy to help where I can. But yes, until next time, my friends, take what resonates, sit with what doesn't. Okay, I don't say leave it out, but sit with what doesn't. And don't forget, the cards don't run your life. They don't. They just hand you the flashlight. All right, they just hand you the flashlight, and for you to make informed decisions, but you still have agency, you still have your own power to decide what you do with it. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate y'all, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.